What is really happening between the United States and Iran right now? Are we moving toward another major Middle East conflict? Or is this just strategic pressure and military signaling? Over the past weeks, military movements, naval drills, diplomatic talks, and strong political statements have raised global concern. In today's video, we break down where military forces are being positioned, what naval exercises are taking place, the status of nuclear negotiations, and whether war is actually likely. Let's begin. Why tensions are rising again. The relationship between the United States and Iran has been hostile since 1979. But recent tensions are focused on three major issues: Iran's nuclear program, ballistic missile development, Iran-backed groups operating across the Middle East. Washington accuses Tehran of expanding uranium enrichment beyond agreed limits. Tehran argues that sanctions and Western pressure forced it to scale back cooperation. At the same time, indirect diplomatic contacts are reportedly ongoing through mediators, but progress appears limited. So while diplomacy continues, military preparations are also increasing. One of the most critical flashpoints is the Strait of Hormuz, the narrow waterway where nearly 20% of the world's oil supply passes daily. Iran has conducted naval drills in and around this strategic choke point, testing fast attack boats, anti-ship missiles, drone surveillance systems. Military analysts interpret these drills as a message. Iran is signaling it can disrupt global oil flows if conflict breaks out. Meanwhile, the U.S. Navy has increased patrols in the Persian Gulf and Arabian Sea, strengthening its maritime presence. This is classic deterrence strategy, both sides demonstrating capability without firing a shot. Reports indicate the U.S. has reinforced its regional posture with additional naval and air assets. Aircraft carrier strike groups, including the USS Gerald R. Ford, have been positioned closer to the Mediterranean and Middle East theater. Carrier strike groups typically include fighter jets, missile defense systems, guided missile destroyers, submarines. This level of deployment is not routine. It signals readiness. However, Pentagon officials state the buildup is defensive, intended to protect U.S. personnel and allies in the region. Iran's regional strategy. Iran's strategy does not rely solely on conventional warfare. Tehran maintains influence through allied groups across Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Yemen. If a full-scale conflict erupted, analysts believe Iran could activate regional networks rather than engage in direct traditional warfare. Additionally, Iran has expanded its drone and missile capabilities, which have become central to its military doctrine. This creates a scenario where any escalation could spread beyond just two countries. Global economic impact. If conflict were to break out, oil prices could spike dramatically. Global inflation could rise. Shipping routes in the Gulf could be disrupted. Energy-dependent economies would feel immediate pressure. Countries in Europe and Asia are closely monitoring the situation, as energy security remains fragile. Even without war, markets often react to tension alone. Is war likely? Despite the military buildup, most strategic experts say a full-scale war is still unlikely, for now. Why? Because the cost would be enormous for both sides. Regional allies could be dragged in. Global markets would suffer. Diplomatic channels remain open. What we are likely witnessing is strategic pressure, deterrence signaling, and negotiation leverage. In simple terms, both sides are showing strength, but neither appears eager for direct confrontation. So where do things stand? Military exercises are increasing. Naval deployments are expanding. Diplomacy is fragile but ongoing. The situation remains tense, but not yet explosive. The next few months will depend on nuclear negotiations, regional incidents, political decisions in Washington and Tehran. This is a developing story, and the world is watching closely. If you found this breakdown helpful, like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications for future geopolitical updates.